o'clock.
Okay, you're good.
Short straw. What's that? Nah, they want to get it. All right, so we'll order this meeting to order here. This is City of Austin Advisory Plan Commission Organizational and Public Hearing Meeting, Wednesday, March 18th, 2026, 5:30. So we'll go ahead and get this started. I got minutes for the prior board meeting. Everybody sign them. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I move.
Second.
We got Melissa's second. Everybody in favor?
Does he have to sign right now, or can he sign after?
Oh, on the attendance thing?
Yeah.
He can get after, yeah. All right, so we got those are done. Okay, do we have any old business we need to do? Nothing? Nope. All right, so then we got new business, public hearing for rezoning request on York Road / Woods Crossing. So we have, you guys gonna do some sort of presentation for us or tell us what we got?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll lead us off here. Jake Bissing with FBT Gibbons LLP. I can give you my address as well if you need it for the record.
Okay.
It's 400 West Market Street, Suite 3200, Louisville, Kentucky. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, and the applicant will come up to speak a little bit as well on a little bit more of the details of the PUD, the project. But we're here for a rezone to PUD under your very new zoning ordinance. So just as with any rezone, we have to satisfy the 5 criteria for a rezone. First, comprehensive plan, consistency with the comprehensive plan. That the current conditions and character of the current structures and uses in the district are consistent. That this is the most desirable use for which the land in each district is adapted. That this will conserve property values throughout the district, and that this is responsible growth and development. Here we're again presenting a PUD, so it's a little bit of creating your own district, so to speak, within the parameters of the new UDO. Here, this is going to be a mixed density residential development. The first phase of which is single family housing, and the applicant will be able to speak to a little bit more detail of that shortly. So for the first criteria, the comprehensive plan that was adopted by the City of Austin last year, again, a new update. The number one criteria, the number one goal is housing. In particular, housing that is varying in density and types to meet the housing needs here in the community. Reading through that section, that it seems as if it's custom tailored for the project that's being proposed. The future land use map in the comprehensive plan contemplates residential development on this particular property. The first goal of the new comp plan is to, as stated, provide for a variety of different residential densities and types. It wants residential uses to tap into existing stub roads for connectivity, which this proposed PUD does. It also advocates for transitional development patterns, which this development does as well, varying densities across the PUD development. In strategy 1.1 of the comprehensive plan, it emphasizes the need to remove barriers to developments for diverse housing options, both for single-family owner-occupied homes, as well as multifamily rental occupancy homes. So in short, this PUD is right on with the housing goals set forth in the new comprehensive plan. The second criteria for the rezone is regarding the current conditions and character of the uses and structures in the district. Here, the property is surrounded by a salvage yard, the city's wastewater treatment plant, and Interstate 65 to the west, single-family residences to the north, and single-family residences in vacant and agricultural land to the east, and vacant woodlands to the south. The mixed-density nature of this proposal is consistent with the surrounding uses. Even the most intense residential uses permitted in the PUD are more compatible with the existing residential uses in the area, than say the salvage yard and the wastewater plant that are located to the west of the property. In terms of this being the most, to go to the third criteria, the most desirable use for which the land can be adapted. In addition to the fact that the comprehensive plan does contemplate that this is situated for residential development, the development proposed by the PUD is not materially different from or adverse to that of the current neighborhood that we've just described. Again, housing to the north, housing to the east, and then some institutional uses and commercial uses to the west. For the fourth criteria, the conservation of property values throughout the district, in the professional experience of the applicant, here no adverse effect on the surrounding area in terms of property values would be anticipated. In fact, the contrary is much more likely, that the addition of new homes to the area will increase neighboring land values rather than decrease them. And for the last criteria of responsible growth and development, again, this is really on the money with the comprehensive plan. This is what the comprehensive plan anticipates development for this particular property. And it also touches on the need for new housing, but not just new housing, but a diverse lot of new housing between detached single family as well as future anticipated attached single family and multifamily. Is an additional point on this. This project has support by your city's redevelopment commission. There's been ongoing efforts by your redevelopment commission to support this project. That's who currently owns the site. And it's subject of a Ready 2.0 award from the state of Indiana. That underscores the public interest to be served by the development and the necessity of the rezone that we're in the application materials that we submitted to you, we proposed a draft PUD ordinance as required by your town's new UDO, your city's new UDO. Here, what we're seeking is really maximum flexibility within the residential zoning districts, so that all permitted uses in R1, R2, and R3 under the UDO would be permitted uses throughout the PUD district. That the special exception uses and accessory uses that are allowed in each of the residential districts, R1, R2, and R3, would be a special exception and accessory uses that are allowable, but subject to the rules of the UDO. And that the developmental standards in the district would be consistent with the developmental standards for R3 residential, which we've restated in the proposed ordinance. So with that, those are a little bit more of the legal technicalities. And I'm going to turn it over to Scott Adams to speak a little bit more about the development itself.
Put your little handout here. I'll keep going. If you guys don't mind, just take a minute, pass it down, see a little bit of time. Good evening. My name is Scott Adams. I'm the Director of Real Estate for DC Develop. And as Jake mentioned, we're here representing the applicant, which is Develop Austin LLC, a separate LLC that we created for the purposes of this particular project. I'll go through the handouts here in just a second, but for those of you unaware, maybe even in the audience unaware, the history of this project goes back about 3 years now, when the state of Indiana allocated several $100 million across the state of Indiana for new housing development projects to be competitively awarded to communities throughout the state. Austin was immediately identified as an opportunity for award of those funds. And for the past 3 years, we've been in discussions with the City Redevelopment Commission about how to achieve securing those funds and bringing the project forward. So a lot of time, a lot of discussions, a lot of effort on the part of the Redevelopment Commission as well as our team has taken place over the past 3 years to bring this project to tonight, which is the plan that you now see in front of you in the handout as well as on the floor here in front of us. As Jake mentioned, it is a planned unit development. It has a variety of types, styles, and prices of housing proposed, some of which we know more certain today than we will have in the future. But what's important to know is that there's about $3.5 million that has been allocated to this project by both the city of Austin as well as the state, as well as us as the private developer. So it truly is a cooperative and collaborative effort to bring this project forward. And as Jake mentioned, it aligns almost perfectly with your new comprehensive plan and the standards that are outlined in the new Uniform Development Ordinance, the new zoning code. With respect to the project specifically, I'll point you to maybe page 2, which has the areas of the property identified, 1 through 6. And areas 1, 4, 5, and 6 are proposed for single family. Principally because the single family portion, which is identified there in area 1 specifically, is that part of the project that is taking advantage of the state funding. There are 55 lots shown in area 1, and that is proposed for use of the state and local funds attributable to new housing development for this project. The rest of the property is really future. Areas 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are future development. 4, 5, and 6 are single family. Areas 2 and 3 can be single family. And what we've asked for in the planned unit development is for you to adopt the standards associated with R1, R2, and R3 that allow for maximum flexibility for us to be able to shift and move as the market moves.
Sure, yeah.
And so that allows us to adapt to market demand in particular segments as the project goes forward. We do expect that this project is probably a 7 to 10 year build out. So we're not going to see this project materialize overnight. The first phase is expected to start this summer with new housing starting in 2027. So that gives you kind of a high level overview of the proposal, and that exhibit that you're looking at is attached to the PUD zoning ordinance that ultimately would be forwarded to the city council for its consideration. The last page is a little more detailed view of the subdivision plat for the single family portion of the project. Highlighted in the dark black line is that phase 1, 55 lots, where the state funding will be allocated towards. And you'll see also that there's about 4 or 5 lots there at the main entrance with a red X. Those are being removed from the proposal at this time. We once upon a time thought there was an opportunity to do some attached housing in that location, but we've removed that from the particular proposal. So those are excluded with that red X. I don't have anything else to share, so I'm open for questions.
Yeah, you got one little there, we did.
So hold on, we'll do comments up here, then we'll open it up to the public, right, Pat? Yeah, so we'll do comments here and then we'll open up to the public, so hold on. Got it, Johnny,
Not everybody now, no.
I do not.
Here, you got anything?
Just, you said the start of phase 1 would be 2027.
We would start the land development phase of section 1 this summer with the housing to start next year.
And when would you expect housing to be completed, and what number might be completed in a 2-year time?
Yeah, we're expecting about a 7-year build out, for section 1.
How
So
many stories
the
high
initial
is
homes,
building?
the first,
Hold on, you guys can go after we get done, okay?
give me a time frame for the first 25 homes, say, for completion.
2 to 3 years
Okay.
There's 55 homes in that one.
in section 1, yes.
I guess I got one quick question. What's the plan for the red X that was in area 1? Is there a plan for that? Is that just gonna be
Yeah,
left empty?
It's actually it's part of area 2.
Okay,
So it, like the rest of the property, has the opportunity to develop to a variety of different densities. We just don't know what that looks like today.
Dave, you got anything?
I think I'm okay right now.
Trevor?
Did you apply for separate side setbacks for the fund?
No.
No, there's the.
We simply adopted the R3 standards.
I got one.
Michelle, you got anything? No? What you got?
I have a quick one. Any common ground in this? It looks like it's all pretty much developed in construction.
Yeah, the common areas that will exist, there's a common area there at the, coming in from the entrance on the right side. As maybe folks in Austin don't know, because there hasn't been a lot of new development here, but several years ago, the U.S. Postal Service changed their rules for mail delivery, especially in new subdivisions. So now we have to have a cluster mailbox center, if you will, for all mail delivery in one location. So that area there to the right, if you come in the main entrance, if you're driving in the main entrance, is an area that's been set aside for that cluster mailbox location. The other common areas would be identified around the drainage or stormwater detention basins that you can see on this on the colored map. Those would be common areas for the subdivision.
And John, you might have said that after completion, what's the total number of units anticipated?
There's 124 single family. The max density in area 2 is 120, and the max density in area 3 is 36.
So 280 roughly? Am I doing
Sounds
that
about right.
Okay. Anybody else up here got anything?
I don't see sidewalks on here.
There will be sidewalks.
Okay. I knew that was part of the new
Sure.
comprehensive plan.
All right, so what we'll do, we'll do 15 or so minutes. We'll do about 2 minutes a speaker. For if anybody wants to stand up and state their name, we'll give you about 2 minutes and you can do questions or comments and then we move on. So, Ishmael?
Yeah, first off, I'm here not on behalf of myself, but I have several family members that live on York Road. And some of them are mature, I'll use that word. My only question, not reservation, just question, 280 homes with one road entrance, First Street, is the way that layout looks to me. And having lived in that community for 25 years and visited it for another 50, York Road and First Street are very busy. York Road is essentially the bypass people use to get around Austin rather than having to drive their commercial equipment through Austin. They come off 65, cement truck, all kinds of things on that road. Is there a plan to do anything to address the egress on those roads into this facility? Because at 280 average, two cars per house, that's 600 vehicles going down one road. That's a narrow road today. It would be my own reservation. No issue with what's going on there, but I was envisioning, because there's at least 3 partial streets that join that property, Weir Lane, Oak Street, and Fifth Street. I thought that maybe those would be used as egress into the operation.
Live there and then you change your mind.
Mr. President,
Live there and you can change your mind.
Mr. President,
That's what I'm saying, it's gonna be very, very,
All right, so,
very.
you want speakers identify themselves and their residency when they speak?
yeah, we can do that. So Ishmael, where do you live?
I live outside the city limits, that's why I said I'm talking on behalf of Dillo
Okay,
and Sarah Jones, who, he had to step out to take a phone call.
all right. So we'll go, who wants to be next? Stand up, name, where you live.
Richard Wright, 260 York Road.
Okay,
I'm not interested in having that place over there anywhere whatsoever.
okay.
Bill Hill, 5th Street. I've lived there for almost 40 years. And the traffic that's gonna be required is gonna be.
Hold on, that was Ishmael's timer. All right, now we're going
Start
to
over if you would.
But I've lived there for almost 40 years. And they open those roads up, especially the smaller roads, it's gonna be devastating. It's gonna be very dangerous. And if they build the houses that they're showing, packing them in beside each other, all the new ones that they built, you take a drive down any of these, they can almost touch each other. That's ridiculous. And then you're gonna do all these houses the same way. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I agree with you.
I agree with Bill. I think the money could have been.
Shannon.
It's okay. They both said it's about the same time. Go right ahead. It's okay.
I also live on 430 South Richard Street by Bill.
What was the name?
Joyce Ward.
Okay.
I've been there almost 29 years, and we've had no problems there at all. The traffic is wonderful. It's safe for children to play on the streets. My grandkids grew up there. I've got great grandkids growing up there. I've never had a pet killed on the street yet. I love being on dead end street. I don't want to have an area like Louisville, Kentucky. I don't want that in my backyard.
Amen.
Yeah, that's true.
Shannon Anderson, I live on 150 York Road. You're pretty much putting that road, I mean, it's coming out right there at that four-way, at that T now. And I can tell you, I don't know how many times I've actually called the police to actually come into my driveway just to watch people run that stop sign coming from 5C Junkyard, or salvage yard. And, the traffic on that road, like Ismail was saying, I mean, you get people in the summertime with side-by-sides coming up that road because they don't want to take them through the middle of town. So side-by-sides go up through there, semi-trucks already go up through there, and they get stuck down there on the railroad tracks. I don't like that idea. I like being able to sit on my front porch and look at one house and just, see out to a field. It's like, yeah, I'm living in town, but I'm also in the country, and that's the quietest, in my opinion, it's the quietest side of town you can live on. We don't have any trouble. We've never had any problems with any kind of, break-ins or theft or anything like that I can. Yeah, I mean, even when all the needle stuff was going around, I mean, we hardly ever seen it over there. And as you can tell, I'm completely against it. But, what I also see, and I'm not just speaking for me because I know what, our house is worth, but, I'm speaking for Dillo and a lot of other people over here that have houses that are worth more than my house is worth. But I can understand that, common sense tells me that if there's a $150,000 house or a $200,000 house over there close to me, and you put that many houses in there that close together and you sell them for $100,000, what's that gonna do to the house that's already worth $200,000? The property value is gonna drop. It's gonna bottom out because no one's gonna wanna buy an old house, 10-year-old house that was worth $200,000 if you can buy a brand new one for $100,000. And so the property value around there is gonna just drop. And I don't see people coming in there buying that many houses that close together at $200,000 homes. I just don't see it. And I can see that already over on Audrey Lane. they tried to do the same thing over there. They promised that there was gonna be, $200,000 homes going on over there. And I don't know how many years that's been going on, but it's been going on for several years. And I've talked to people who live on Audrey Lane, and the homes that they're putting in, their property value is dropping. Because they're having to sell those homes for less than what their home was worth. So I'm completely against it.
Larry Van Lee, 184 York Road. I'm also deadly against it, and I hate the idea. But regardless of whether it goes in or whether it does not, I want to know what y'all plan on doing on that York Road itself. That railroad track down there is the most dangerous crossing and road in the country. My daughter's almost got ran over 2 or 3 times by that up there. And I've answered at different times, I've never gotten an answer. I don't expect to get an answer tonight either. But I want you to know that regardless of whether that goes in or not, I hope it doesn't, that something needs to be done about that road. Also, I'm against what I'm calling glorified garages that they're building. Those, you put all those against there, everyone's property damage going down. It already has done on these other streets. It might be sense for
The cookie cutter homes is what I want to call them. I mean, you just stamp them out like a cookie cutter.
Does anybody, all right, so anybody, hold on, if you're gonna speak, you gotta stand up, so, yep,
Also-
you finish up here.
But even one of your councilmen.
Yeah.
Even one of your councilmen put his name on some of these houses, had a friend that bought one of them. First day they moved in, they started putting stuff in their closet.
Okay, so your time's up, okay? Sorry, but 2 minutes and we gotta go on. So we got, I had one back here before you, man, right back here in the very back.
My name's Floyd Cease, I live on 40 South Oak Street.
Okay.
I know what you guys plan on doing here. You can't even get 2 vehicles on Oak Street right now going together. You almost have to stop or hit a mailbox going through there.
Yeah.
Now, is this gonna widen roads or what? Because I put sidewalks in our land? I mean, we don't get this opportunity like these new people do. I don't understand that. And like this man said, I drove up on Audrey Lane. It was a decent place to live, but now it's not. My mother and father's house, man, went back for $180,000 back then, and you can't even get that out of the house now.
Okay,
I know you guys already made your minds up.
thank you.
Samara Ray, 175 Brook Road. We have been there for 2 years now. When we bought our home, our realtor reassured us, they'll probably never build nothing back here. Nothing will ever go back in here behind you. There's a main easement that goes through this property. They'll never be able to build on it. There's floodlands back there. They'll never build in floodplains. So when we bought this $190,000 1918 home farmhouse, it's gonna sit right on the back side of this property. We were under the impression, all right, we got a nice little piece of peacefulness here. I can sit on my back porch, I can look out in this field. It floods, I watch the water rise. And now it's like a smack in the face by the city saying, oh, no. You invested in your property, you invested in your town, and now we don't care. It really hurts. It's really disheartening. And what do you do for the sewer system that can't even maintain what's already in the city?
I'm Jill Barrett. I live at 255 Grove Road. Like everybody else has said, it's very peaceful over there. But where my yard is, it slopes down, so all of everybody's ditch water runs by my house and it goes in my backyard where a retention pond was already built. And then whenever it gets filled, it goes back there. So if you guys build back there, which it already floods, what were you gonna do to make sure that that water doesn't come back into my yard?
Jeff Baker, 175 York Road. This interest right here, the only one that you guys have for however many homes you're putting back there. I'm bordered that road there. Are you guys planning on cutting down the trees on my property there? Are you guys gonna answer any questions, or you guys just gonna look at each other?
It's a public speaking.
It's a, you guys speak
Listening to
and then
you
we
at this
speak,
point.
we let you guys ask and then we speak.
That don't make any sense, but go ahead.
Right.
But that's all I got. I mean, it looks like you guys are gonna cut down the trees that's right on our property.
Okay. Yeah, so All right, is everybody good? And we can close it to
There's 2 minutes up.
yeah, everybody's, all right, so we're gonna close public comment, and then we'll open up comment back for the board to ask questions or, and to proceed going forward. So, I do have couple questions, so, for you guys. So, okay, so Fifth Street, Oak Street, and Weir Lane, I see it goes into or butts up to Area 3. Is Area 3 gonna have its own exit out, or are you gonna plan on using those roads as in and out?
Area 3, could have connections to, Fifth and Weir, but most likely not Oak.
Okay.
John, did you give a range of the property, the expected property value or the?
Yeah, our forecast has, average home value here being $230,000.
We can't build a house now on our street.
So, John, you got anything?
Let's talk about flood. I mean, anybody's lived, I used to live in that area for a long time when I was growing up. Has anything, any kind of study or anything been done about the increase? I mean, it's going to rain, water's got to go somewhere. Has there been a study or anything done that could be presented here to tell us what's going to happen with that?
Sure, if you look at the site plan, you can see the 3 detention ponds are all located to the south and east of the development. The drainage patterns present on this property will all drain to the south and east, away from York Road towards the creek.
Yeah.
So, there should be no drainage impact to the existing neighborhood, north of York Road from this project.
John, I may be getting into more detail on your construction, but what's the average square footage of those single-family units?
Hasn't been determined yet. We don't have a builder identified yet, but, we'll probably, I think the UDO required a minimum of 1,100 square feet. We'll most likely be in excess of that.
Will they all have 2-car garages, or you don't know any of that?
Don't know that yet.
What about brick facade? Any expectations on that, or?
We have not set those restrictions as of yet.
I have a question. Could you answer for, Ms. Ray and Mr. Baker that you will or will not be cutting those trees down that are already on the property, which I don't think is permitted?
Yeah, we're not gonna touch anybody's private property to do anything.
And secondly, I live in an area that was just redeveloped and the houses are selling over there. I don't believe that there are any that are empty and the property in my home has not depreciated. That's all I have.
No.
I have a question that affects it all and everything.
Hold on,
everybody.
you had a chance to speak. We've closed to the public. You had a chance and didn't take it. So we're going up here and we're proceeding forward, okay? I mean, that's how the rules work. So, you got something?
What, the sewer, how's this gonna affect the sewer? Is there any plans to do anything at the sewer plant?
Yeah, so there will be a pump station at the back of Area 1, back at the end of that cul-de-sac. There's an area reserved for access to a future pump station, and then there'll be a force main installed to pump that sewage directly into the wastewater treatment.
Okay. Dave, you got something?
I was wondering, is this area to the south, is that a common area also?
It's all floodplains. It's all floodplains.
I mean, and then the other comment, I mean, there doesn't seem to be any connectivity to the common areas from the subdivision, I guess, is my question.
There will be, there is at the end of the one cul-de-sac, where the pump station will be located there in the center, that center cul-de-sac.
Yeah, I see that little easement there.
There's one there, and then there's also, it's hard to tell on the plan here, but there's a second access, on the southernmost road that gives you access to that, more linear detention pond.
Okay. I'm just not seeing that, that's okay.
Yeah, that's hard to see.
But it's gonna be a connectivity.
It is there.
You see those people there.
Correct.
I know, but it was just.
And have they done any traffic studies on this?
Everything I know.
Trevor, you got something?
Yeah.
Here we go, we got Trevor. Go ahead, Trevor.
I was under the impression that the square footage would be close to 1,300.
We haven't set that officially. We've just simply been following the UDO.
That'll all be part of CCNRs that go into the development, not as a part of the zoning. And
Yeah, so after this, assuming that this goes forward and the council adopts the zoning change, we'll bring back to the city for its review a detailed set of construction drawings, showing all the civil, design, for the roads, the sewers, the water lines, the drainage, all of that will be, provided back to the city in sufficient detail for its review. And I just want to remind the board and those in attendance, all that's being really developed at this stage are the 55 lots in Area 1. But we're planning for the future. We're planning for the future with this overall PUD, but all that will be proposed in the first phase is 55 single-family lots.
How many are you talking total? Like, once it's all said and done?
There's 124 single-family lots.
Yeah.
280.
Perhaps I should know this, but I don't.
Hold on, we got,
You mentioned a joint venture, the state and you and the city.
Yeah.
How were the state funds used and have they already been expired and are they?
No, we've not, we've made an application to the state for those funds. They have been tentatively awarded to the project. That's $2 million coming from the state. Once we have the zoning approval, we'll submit that to the state because then that gives us the rights to develop the site. They're not gonna give $2 million to somebody who can't develop a piece of real estate. So once all that is secured, then the state will release funds as we move forward with development. So we'll start the development, submit a pay application to the state for work completed, and then they'll pay only for work completed as the project goes forward until that $2 million is expired.
Is there any limitation on what those funds can be used for?
Yes, only public infrastructure.
Okay.
Yes.
So can we build a public infrastructure like
I think
a
Mr. McGrath
wall,
was
a
trying to
sound
get
barrier
attention.
wall, block our residents?
yeah, the public's closed here. So Trevor, go ahead.
There was some people that.
You need to give us a chance, not just 2 minutes, okay? You don't live there, we do. We gotta deal with it. Put the damn wall up if you want to do it, like the lady said. That way it will serve us, and we know good well you put a wall up.
Hey,
and
guys,
you're not gonna get on Oak Street or.
When public comment is closed, or we
That's
will,
bullshit.
well, I'm sorry, but we can ask you to leave.
It's not fair, man, this is not fair.
Okay, so public comment's closed. So Michelle, do you got Trevor? Trevor's still trying to go.
Some of that area is floodplain. There'll be no homes built on the floodplain section.
Correct.
And then some people had some concerns with flooding in that area. Is there any way you could oversize some of those retention ponds to help alleviate some water from that area?
Well,
Like, I know we have,
all the drainage moves away from existing residents. So the drainage doesn't move to the north where the existing residents are.
The elevation chart shows it all flowing to the back.
And Trevor, to your question, all of the drainage that comes off of the adjacent properties that runs through the property, we have to size our entire system to be able to convey it to run through so that flooding doesn't occur as it's running through. So any water running through the system will be sized appropriately for storm pipes to convey, carry away, run into our detention basins, and then release into the floodplain in a slower release.
so it'll be graded where everything's running away from the existing homes.
That's correct. We can't go on private property, so we're not going onto anyone's property, but what's coming onto this property will run through the system away downstream, away from the homes.
Michelle, you got anything in?
So things that I heard from the public, there are concerns about traffic. What is your thoughts and plans to help with the traffic? Because with that many homes coming in, how will traffic be?
So there was a couple questions about, the single entrance that's visible here on the plan. There is a potential for a second entrance, through area 2. We're happy to make that commitment. So there can be, a way to divert traffic, through area 2. Going west, and that's really the only opportunity for a second entrance for the primary, part of the development. Area 3 is somewhat isolated due to a creek, that runs down, behind areas 1 and 4, between 1 and 4 and 3. So crossing that creek is a barrier. So area 3 is somewhat isolated, with its access going, to the north, on, Fifth Street and Weir Lane.
I think it should also be noted that those areas, there's no current development plan being submitted. And if those are to develop, those will come before public meetings. They'll go before redevelopment for review. They'll go before your all's planning board for review. So any of those additions will be brought before public review and hearing. Today is the 55 lots total, which has really been the city's concept and master plan for the better part of almost 3 years. Back in the end of October, beginning of November of 2023, the city held open outside on the property, really sharing their overall plan, which then went to the application for ready funds through the RDA. So that was back in October, November of 23, when the Redevelopment Commission really started concepting this plan to help grow the community. And I understand there's frustrations on new development and things in backyards that were never there. I get that. This has been the city's plan for growth, the city's plan to grow assessed value in the community, which really then allows for other things with utilities and road improvements. And to the question about traffic, growing assessed value, as much as it isn't a fun thing to talk about, those dollars help have more tax dollars to support improvements that can happen for road widening, for future sidewalk improvement projects, for matching, community crossing matching grant dollars that go for paving and widening of roads, existing infrastructure. Those homes will help with those tax dollars from assessed value to help make that possible.
Are you done, Michelle?
Yeah, I wrote down everybody's questions and I think.
Yeah, I was trying to
from the
cover-
board, we've got.
Do you have anything?
Everybody's questions that were asked.
Okay, I also, I got something too, go ahead.
So I agree with Michelle that if this was approved, the the traffic would increase. However, I think the council has the road issues relies within the city council, if I'm not wrong.
That's
So
true.
we wouldn't be able to do anything about the widening of roads or asking for another stop sign. I believe the only thing that this board would do would be to approve another entrance if they asked for one.
So today, all you're gonna be doing is voting whether or not to send it with a favorable recommendation and unfavorable recommendation.
Right.
The recommendation, however, the new UDO does allow for you to send a recommendation along with recommended conditions, commitments. So you can add those if you do send it with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you.
So,
Does anyone know if the state dollars could go toward widening York Road?
They could, however, that allocation of money would have had to have been made a long time ago. So that we've opted to.
The READY program was not intended for road widening of existing infrastructure. It was for a very specific targeted effort in READY 2. And across the state of Indiana, a number of the communities went for community growth projects with the anticipation that those growth projects help create the other tax dollars that do the things that you're referring to. If the city does not go forward with this project, the city does not get to reallocate or use the $2 million. It goes back to the state for the state to reallocate somewhere else.
That's what I thought.
so, before if nobody else has got anything, I'll
I got a few things, questions that I had. So one, I've heard several things about the traffic. I can say with 100% certainty that York Road was counted 2 weeks ago between the entrance and the railroad tracks, just past the railroad tracks. It was counted on 7th Street and First Street was counted 2 weeks ago. If you go to tcds.com, those numbers is out there and they're public knowledge. What I will say is there's less traffic on York Road than there is Boo Road, Jack Morgan, and Man Avenue. There's less traffic and you can look that up and you can see that, okay? For anybody that drove that, the tubes were down. I'm the one that puts them down. I know, okay?
I seen the tubes.
Yep, I was the one that put them down. It was state counted. It goes through NDOT, so that information is public, okay? It tells you how many semis, how many dump trucks, how many school buses, how many motorcycles, how many bicycles, everything.
But you're also comparing York Road to Boo Road, which Boo Road is a county road that is counting every car that's going to Hardy Lake on the back there.
So it doesn't matter. It's still in town.
Got a lot more traffic.
Okay, so Boo Road is city road up to the water tower. I live on it. So I'll also follow that up with the biggest residential improvement in our area was on Bowl Circle. Is that correct, Roger? In the last 3 years, they built 24 houses back there and they sold for about $230,000 a piece. They were for sale for less than 30 days once they turned the sewer
They
on.
still have sewer issues.
Well, I live there and haven't smelled anything. So, and mine's worked fine. So, I will say that. So, if,
I've gotten a decision already, man.
so if anybody else up here have anything they want to talk about?
Just a question, is that field already?
The public
The public comments, yeah, done. We can't go anything else with that.
That was a question though, it's not a comment, because the field.
Public hearing part's done. Yeah, we can't, according to our lawyer, the public hearing part is done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Answer the question.
From like a capacity standpoint, this project it won't go over capacity on the current sewer system? No?
It's only 300 gallons per house, you got about 1 million gallons, 900,000 of excess capacity. He's asking about the plant,
Well, how much
an average
capacity?
house produces 310 gallons per day. And so if you got 100 of them, then that's 31,000 gallons a day is all you get out of it. And your plant has got a rated capacity of 2 million, and you're doing about 1.1 million right now. The problem that the city has is these are old clay sewers, and when it rains, you get water that leaks into those old clay sewers. And we've got a project on the table now to address that, to eliminate what we call sanitary sewer overflows. So as far as the average everyday capacity of the plant, you got all kinds of capacity. Well, you have 900,000 gallons. It's quite a bit.
Half capacity roughly?
Yeah, a little over. So it's running about 55, last time I checked, 55%, something like that.
And that's just with the addition of section 1, or is that?
Well, I mean, if you had 100 homes, okay, it increased the flow by 0.03 MGD or 31,000 gallons a day, all right? You built the whole thing out, just make up, you say it's 100,000 gallons, you've got 900,000 sitting there of capacity. So it's, it's good to use that capacity because it's sitting there and you gotta pay for it. It doesn't, it's a good thing, but you've got capacity.
Is that it for up here?
As far as a potential second entrance, how far do you think you could get it away from the first entrance? Because if they're right on top of each other, that doesn't do a whole lot for diverting traffic.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect they'd be right on top of each other. You're probably looking.
I would imagine coming up north out of area 6 and then through 2.
Well, there's actually an opportunity where you can see,
We're approximately 800 feet from First Street.
you can see on the plan, under that red X, we have private street. That connection can still exist and go into area 2 and then come back out on the York Road. I would imagine probably at least halfway down area 2.
Would that join Area 6's thing at some point, potentially?
It would not adjoin Area 6.
Okay.
Area 6 ends there. and it's all
It would end there, okay.
I think for that many homes, it might make sense to have a second entrance, just to help alleviate some of the traffic concerns. That way, all the cars aren't coming off on that one road, coming straight out that one way.
And also for like kids getting on buses,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
And that can be handled in a development plan approval process.
Sure, I think, with a development plan proposed at some point for Area 2, we can ensure that additional connection can be made.
And maybe I misheard, but I thought you said there might be a potential, through Weir and the street that going into Area 3 that could.
For Area 3, yes.
So
But it wouldn't connect to Area 1 and 4.
There's a drainage structure between the drainage.
Yeah.
So if they put one between,
But Area 3
it would just.
It'd just do Area 3 with all.
Which is still fine, because not everybody has to.
Not everybody's coming up with the same
That's
thing.
what I was trying to like, is it, yeah.
Sure.
So that Area 3 is developed, it would have potentially 2 in and outs on its own.
Correct.
And then if Area 2 got developed, would Area 2 have its individual exits to entrances?
It would have an entrance on York and then a connection internally to the
To the
subdivision.
right, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody got anything else? Do we have any motions or what we have? Anybody got anything, make a motion to approve or not approve or
I'll make a motion to approve with the recommendations that they increase the entrances for the, along the way of the development. With what we just discussed,
adding a second entrance.
2 or 3, like adding the second one
to
when
Area
they do this
2?
one, and then adding the other one down towards Weir and Oak, whenever they develop it.
For Area 3.
Again, technically, that's a motion to make a favorable recommendation.
It is, yes.
Yeah, so we got,
For the minutes, it's
For
pretty
just-
much an entrance for 3 and then 2 entrances for the other part.
Yes, thank you.
Let me clarify.
Mhm.
Area 3, 2 entrances, Weir and Fifth Street,
Okay,
right?
okay,
Happy to commit to that, no problem.
okay,
okay,
Area 2, have a singular entrance on York with a second connection into the subdivision. There.
Street A, is that what it is?
Yeah, on Street A,
Okay,
yes. So that way we've got 2 entrances over here on the eastern, what I'll call the eastern side, 2 entrances on the western side.
can you tell me where the other one is on the western side, please?
In Area 2, probably about halfway down from the
Okay.
main entrance.
So would that entrance go through like where the red X is, like where it
Yes,
goes through?
correct.
Goes to the private drive,
Yes.
I second Melissa's.
Do you want to amend your motion based on?
yeah, you wanna restate it? Or have Trevor restate it for you?
Favorable recommendation with the modification of the altered entrances.
And
And I second.
Total of 4.
Or, yes,
Total of 4, that's correct, spread out.
Okay,
yes, thank you.
and then
Second.
Gary second,
First, second.
okay? All in favor? Well, we gotta go down the list, so we gotta we'll start at the bottom, so Lisa's not here, so Dave, yes or no?
Yes.
Dave's yes. Melissa?
Yes,
Yes. Fred?
Yes.
Yes. Michelle?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Trevor?
Yeah.
John?
No,
No?
I have concern.
Okay. And then myself, Tony Stidham, yes. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 7 yeses and 1 no. So it will go, so that's a majority. So it'll be sent to city council. Do we know when that meeting is, Roger? Okay, so to be sent to city council for their final approval, with a favorable recommendation with the addition of the 4 new entrances. So.
Next council meeting will be the 14th of April, so that'll probably be there.
Okay. So it'll be, that meeting will be we're gonna say for now, April 14th, is that what you said?
Yes.
April 14th is what they will try to get it on the thing. So, that'll be when they vote on it for the final approval. So, does anybody up here have anything else? Before we go? Do I have a meeting to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Gary, adjourn. Trevor, second. All in favor? Aye.